Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Monday.
You might have a dilemma on the daily, actually, about getting yourself the proper rest that you deserve. My dear friends, take care of yourself, get the sleep that you need. And, I need to self-direct that as well. This is nothing new, but it seems to be going all over the internet again, making the rounds. People are sharing the so-called 10-3-2-1-0 method for getting your best possible sleep. And here's how it breaks down. 10 hours before bed, no more caffeine. That's maybe a bit of a tall order. Okay, well, let's see how easy the rest of them are. 3 hours before bed, no more food or alcohol. Okay, the alcohol, not so much of a problem, but the food, that is almost a daily thing. I'm definitely eating way closer to sleeping than I should be. 2 hours before bed, they say no more work. Also something I extremely struggle with. And then 1 hour before bed, no more screens. That might be the most difficult ask of all for the average person. But then the 0, what does that mean? What about when you go to bed? No, it's actually when you wake up in the morning. Hit snooze 0 times in the AM. Okay, all right, now they're just showing off. Some of us need a snooze or two to fully jumpstart the brain, okay? This sounds like some amount of work, certainly a lot of discipline, but prepping to go to bed through the entire day does have a certain appeal to it. Come on, admit it.
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
As we mentioned with glee earlier in the show, Guns N' Roses going on tour again, a massive worldwide tour in 2026. Closest date to home is going to be in Edmonton, August 26th at Commonwealth Stadium. And we're going to be qualifying people for some tickets. Beat the box office style all this week. They actually go on sale the morning of Friday, December 5th. The band is also going to be sharing 2 new songs, one called Nothing, another called Atlas, to celebrate the announcement of the giant world tour. Many, many dates for them to hit through the spring, summer, and beyond. Very much exciting stuff. The Beach Boys are also going to be returning to the stage, celebrating 60 years of one of the greatest albums ever, Pet Sounds. And that's at the London Royal Hospital Chelsea show. In fact, there's actually a couple of different shows. It's the summer series that hasn't seen the light of day in 4 years. The Proclaimers are going to be headlining the other show, of course, that is across the pond in the UK. A little bit hard to access for us. And we end off with some sad news as a reggae legend, Jimmy Cliff, has passed away at the age of 81. He was a seminal artist in the space, as well as somebody who started to cross over into films. He was celebrated for his role in the 1972 movie, The Harder They Come. In a statement shared by family, it was revealed that the actor died due to a seizure following pneumonia at the age of 81. That's it for your music news this morning. I'm Steve Reeve.
Tuesday.
It finally happened to me just yesterday. Yesterday, I slipped pretty hard on some of that polished ice. I was far more angry than injured at the time. At least that's, no injury in a lasting, permanent sense. Pretty sure, self-diagnosis. I'm sore today, though, that's for sure. I am definitely sore from it. Gotta have a bruise, gonna have something to show for it. But I have a friend who says that they never get sick, who, actually does get sick from time to time. Not like it's a super often thing, but it does happen. Well, this is my I never get sick. I never slip. I never do. I walked inside to my girl after it happened because it was just getting home yesterday, and I was just ranting about it, all about it, because of the pain. She said she couldn't remember. She legitimately couldn't remember a time that I had ever slipped and fallen that she knew of in the 13 years plus that we've been together. I never slip. Never. Until I do. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. I think I'll make it. I think I'll survive. I think I will hit the finish line here on this one. But it's going to be with a look of annoyance on my face and probably a couple of Advils coursing through my system. For sure. Joni Mitchell is going to be celebrated later on, not this year, sorry, next year in March, specifically at the Juno Awards for 2026. Now, after winning the Canadian Music Hall of Fame induction back in 1981, and then being presented with the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys back in 2002, she's going to be presented with the newly returned Lifetime Achievement Award at the Junos, presented by the National Arts Center. It is going to be quite an affair, and alongside it, in March of next year, we'll see Nelly Furtado, who hosted the Juno Awards back in 2024. and actually has taken home 10 Juno trophies over her career. She'll be inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. And though that comes after this October's announcement from her that she was stepping away from live performances for the foreseeable future, just pursuing some other creative endeavors. What that means remains to be seen, but we will see her in March. Deftones adding some gigs over in the UK, in Dublin and Edinburgh, with the Idols for their 2026 summer tour. An extension of their tour that already started in elsewhere in the world and is in support of their newest album, released kind of as a surprise to everybody not too long ago this year. Right now, we're going to get back to the music. That's it for your music news. I'm Steve Reeve.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
Advent calendar time right around the corner, right? You got to get them in hand before you reach December 1st, or else the whole schedule's thrown off. Or you can just double up days. It's not that big of a deal. But there are weird ones. Every year, you get to see kind of like strangers. At the grocery store, I saw some cheese ones. You always see sort of beer. Obviously, chocolate is the main one. It's the most common. Or other treats or kind of toys for the kids. Sure. You know, like Kinder Surprise, they do one. Of course they would. That kind of thing. Or sometimes there's socks. Sometimes there's pins or buttons or ties or things like that. I've even seen some green ones for those who partake. You know, all kinds. But I want to try and find a weird one for this year. A really strange one. And I find that is a little bit hard to do. There are some really interesting ones where you can get like hot sauce and cologne samples all in one. So you're smelling spicy, I guess? You can get one that has tiny little meat pies. I'm talking 25 tiny little meat pies. That would be kind of amazing. You know what I actually want, though? And I'm being genuinely sincere on this. I want a hot dog advent calendar. I want 24 glizzies in a row. Please and thank you. Somebody set it up. Figure it out. People always want to do a little too much for the holidays, don't you think? On the internet, they do at least. Real life people, a little bit more normal. I mean, we are at that time of year where we're diving into the deeper side of the holiday celebration where decorations are really coming out. We got to pull ours out of storage, but also the activities. We're trying to look at things to do with the whole family or as couples and stuff. Gingerbread house making. You know, that session is always fun. I always really do enjoy that. But I'm going to do it out of the package, out of the box. You know what I mean? I saw a video, or like, did you know that you could make stained glass windows using crushed up Jolly Ranchers as you're baking your gingerbread panels? And I was like, oh yes, as I'm baking them. For sure. What I'm actually doing is opening the box and pulling those out. The most I will do is make some actual new icing to put that sucker together, because you know that the stuff that comes in the box is not going to be good enough. But that's as far as that effort goes. The rest is in trying not to eat all the candy before you actually finish decorating.
Wednesday.
Trying to fight for a Christmas tree, filling up a good percentage of the brain pan right now between me and my significant other. We do get a real tree each year, kind of a hunt. This is the time of year we start seeing them showing up, but they only really last about 4 weeks, and we're at November 26th. So it's about like right now when it actually makes sense to get that sucker thawed in the house. You've also got the ones that travel across the country with a big run on the selection immediately. It is hilarious to me how seriously people take it. And us too. I'm not saying we're not amongst. Hopefully I'm not going to get a black eye to get that shining Christmas tree. The only shiners that we want are going to be the things that we're hanging in the actual tree itself. Not on my face, please and thank you. Stranger Things is back again. Not quite yet, but today is the day, and I believe it arrives for us in our time zone at about 6 p.m. tonight. The first 4 episodes of the final 8. We won't get all of them until we're done with 2026. The final episode itself coming out on New Year's Eve. Kind of wild, but I mean, it's been a long time since this show started. I was thinking about it. It was back in 2016. It was post-wildfire evacuation when this arrived in the summertime, middle of July. And it's only had 4 seasons so far. That's a lot of years. An entire decade, basically, dedicated to it. But I'm very much looking forward to wrapping up the show, finding out where we're going with it, whether it's good or great, or maybe not even close. Maybe more of a Game of Thrones ending kind of situation. I'm still in, at least to find out. Now, it has been a long time. It has not been a lot of episodes. Those kids are no longer kids. But there's been a lot of things that have happened in that span of time. I've got a list of shows that have started and ended in the time that we've been waiting for Stranger Things to wrap up. The Good Place premiered in the same year as Stranger Things. It ended in 2020. Same deal for This Is Us, though that one ended in 2022. The Great North, the animated show, premiered in 2021, ended this year. They decided to wrap it up after 5 seasons. Yeah, they got 5. And Stranger Things is just getting into its 5th. Cobra Kai, that premiered in 2017. That ended this year, I believe, unless they decide to just announce another season or something. What We Do in the Shadows, based on the movie. The show started in 2019, wrapped up in 2024. You had a pretty similar run. Yellowstone had a pretty similar run. These things have come and have gone. And soon, that will be the case for the final season of Stranger Things. But we're not there just yet, so no spoilers.
Hey, Alexa, play the Steve Reeve podcast.
Oasis may have pulled a fast one on us. The brothers Gallagher seemingly not in talking mood with each other until they just decided out of nowhere to let us know the Live in 25 tour was going to be happening and tickets would be on sale soon. Well, according to the video director for Oasis across the tour, it was about 14 months of pre-production before it was ever even announced. Lots of well-kept secrets, he says, and fans have been saying the brothers Gallagher have been fooling everybody into thinking they were in their off-again season when really things were being discussed. Plans were being made. The Talking Heads are going to be releasing some new old music for Record Store Day Black Friday 2025. They're going to be releasing some newly discovered demos as The Artistics with a release called Tentative Decisions, Demos and Live. That's going to be arriving later on this week. And there's an event for Gordon Lightfoot that happened years and years after the song actually arrived. The 1976 ballad is number 1 in the Billboard Digital Rock Sales Chart 5 decades after the Edmund Fitzgerald sank. Finally hitting number 1, and that's it for your music news this morning. I'm Steve Reeve. The big question this morning, and it was all inspired, unfortunately, by something a little bit sad. The guy who was the inventor behind things like Light Bright and Mousetrap and more. I mean, he's an inventor of many, many things. He's passed away at the age of 99. A man named Burt Meyer. Rock'em Sock'em Robots was among the things that he brought to the world. And so we were asking what your favorite toy is, or what the best toy was when you were growing up. And got a couple of answers. Brad saying Transformers. Absolutely there with you, 1,000%. The movies, the cartoon, okay, and the toys, unbelievable. They were so fun, so different from everything else, though GoBots technically were first. We also got a message on the text line saying, yeah, absolutely, the Barrel of Monkeys was the toy of the day, every day growing up. We had definitely our own version, our own, barrel full of monkeys. We used to play with it all the time, legitimately. Or pickup sticks, that was a very common one as well. And also, we got 3 or 4 people all saying Tonka trucks. Tonka trucks. Absolutely, that stuff was the best. But there's still room for many more answers. What was the best toy when you were growing up? Let us know.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.